For the past few months, I've been working on a podcast called Event Stars to help people in the events industry, and I've had some really fantastic opportunities to interview some superb people from the industry and beyond. But like many things at the moment, now is not the time to launch it. Now is the time where we need to come together and support each other for what is going to be truly difficult times ahead. So I've been switching it up a little bit while my business is pretty much at zero, and decided to do a podcast that can help people cut through the noise and help businesses hopefully grow and learn during this period. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that something good can come from it. If you've got any suggestions, then feel free to get in touch. Svetlin Todd is a lifestyle online entrepreneur on a mission to empower and help as many entrepreneurs as possible be the most fully developed leaders they can be in their business, body and life. Svetlin believes it all comes full circle. Achieving your full potential as an entrepreneur requires not only financial but physical and mental fitness. It's all about improving every area of your life by not neglecting any aspect of it. He has recently started a new experiment on social media where he provides the best tools and knowledge for coaches and entrepreneurs to help them expand their business online and achieve more freedom. Now, I've known Svetlin for a number of years. He's been a good friend and someone I've been able to turn to for advice. I've always been fascinated and inspired by his life, which in his words gives him freedom to be where he wants and design his perfect lifestyle. Svetlin, originally from Bulgaria, spent 6 months of the year in Bonaire in the Caribbean and the other 6 months traveling between different destinations in and around Europe in the summer months. He's an avid windsurfer and someone who loves to work out, but most of all, he lives an extremely disciplined life, even while traveling, which has enabled him to build an enviable lifestyle. In this interview, we speak about the current crisis and the opportunity that it could present to entrepreneurs, business owners, and those who want to make a change in their lives, as well as talking through some of his biohacks. So here's my conversation with Svetlin Todd. So Svetlin, good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
It's looking a lot brighter there where you are than where I am right now in Warsaw in England.
Yeah, I'm currently on Bonaire. It's a small Caribbean island, and as you can see, the sun is shining. We've got beautiful weather down here. You might be able to hear the birds around, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can from the reflection from your balcony, I think you're on. The sky is definitely a lot blue there, so it looks great.
Yeah,
it's kind of a wish I was there kind of moment. So Svetlin, I've known you for probably about 4 years now. I think we first met at the Web Summit, and I think we hit it off pretty well from the start and made a concerted effort to meet once a year. But last year that never happened. For many reasons which I won't go into regarding the particular conference we went to. Anyway, I was always very fascinated and inspired by the life that you've created for yourself. And I'd probably define you as a bit of a digital nomad. And for those of you who don't know what a digital nomad is, it's basically people who work online and take advantage of the fact they work online, and they can work remotely from anywhere in the world, and they travel at the same time. And we'll talk a bit about your lifestyle a bit later, but would you say it's fair to call you a digital nomad?
I don't think so, because being a digital nomad is quite different than the life that I pursue. And digital nomad gives you only part of the freedom that online entrepreneurship can give you. Basically, what a digital nomad is, creating a independent, location-independent income, and being able to travel around the world and work from anywhere in the world, which I'm fortunate enough to be able to do nowadays. But for me, I have a bigger vision. I have a bigger mission that I want to accomplish. And yes, I do have the freedom to travel and work from anywhere in the world, but for me, it's not just that. But yeah, I am like traveling and working from anywhere in the world.
Okay, so we'll go a bit more into that later, but the reason I reached out to you yesterday was I saw something on your Instagram that you'd changed an Instagram account to a new one because you'd built up a really big following on one of your accounts, and then you suddenly switched it up and said, all right, guys, I'm going to start a brand new account. So I'll ask you about that as well. But this is a podcast about event stars, which I've been recording for a while, and I plan to release in the next 30 days. But given the situation that's happening, we're in the midst of Covid-19 and the crisis that's leading to, both health and economically. And it was back to one of the posts that you put on about what businesses can do right now to survive or to get through this time. I'll give you an example. My business, I'm in events, I'm in hospitality, leisure. We have zero business at the moment, nothing coming in. All of our bookings for the next few months want to cancel. And obviously I'm very naturally worried about the future. So what advice would you give to me and other small business owners like myself?
Yeah, definitely. We're going through a very different time. Obviously, there's a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity, a lot of sickness, even death. But on the other side, I believe that this current situation, a world catastrophe, presents a very unique opportunity if you're able to look and identify the bigger picture, because what's happening is very interesting. We've been in this transitioning period for quite a long time, where like everything is shifting, everything is going digital, and everything is revolutionizing. Even like the currencies, you got crypto, it's trying a new form of money. Educational system is changing so much, and I think what's happening now, it's very unfortunate, but at the same time is going to help people see the bigger picture, and it will allow us to grow as human beings. And I believe that small businesses are definitely going to experience some rough time. Obviously, no one knows what's going to happen, but I think right now it's the...
Oh, sorry, that was just Alexa in the background telling me to get the washing up, but don't worry about that.
No problem. What I was going to say is that I believe that right now it's the moment to really double down, even triple down on your business, on yourself as a person and your personal brand. I think what you're doing with your podcast is great. And what you do today is going to serve you and benefit you in the long run, definitely. And for small businesses like yours, for example, that entirely operate in person and offline, I think the time has never been better to actually start creating different avenues and really understand what can I do now in this current situation to start producing revenue online. And one of the ways to do so is to grow your personal brand, because people want to learn from people like yourself. They don't want to learn from teachers and professors and people like that anymore. They want to learn from people like yourself that have achieved something, and they want you to step up as a leader and to show them and to guide them how they can do it for their own. So I think investing in your personal brand is something that everyone needs to start doing in this situation. Since everyone is sitting in home, isolated, at least people have the time to start doing it.
So, all right, forget personal brand at the moment, because there's still like your company brand as well. How could I invest in my company brand at the moment without spending money? Because again, we're worried about whether we'll have any money in a couple of months.
So I think the very first thing that everyone can do is to start building a community and to create low ticket offer or products for free. If you're able to just see the value that's behind building an audience of true fans, this is where you're going to understand how your business is going to change. So instead of thinking for your customers as just people who will buy your products. Think about them as audience, as true fans, people that will be ready to buy anything and everything from you whenever you release a new product or service or whatever that is. So I know in the short run, it's not going to be easy, but in the long run, you're going to have huge benefits.
So why don't you take us through your journey, how you've done that? Like I said earlier, you've built up a following, mainly from what I've seen on Instagram. And you've done that in a very sort of specific way, I've noticed. You've been putting daily stories on about what people can do to better themselves. You've been putting daily posts on. So why don't you walk through that journey with me?
Can you just clarify your question? Is it about the new account that I've created, or is it more how
it's more about so it's more about the whole journey that you've taken in the last sort of 2.5 years that I've seen you do?
Yes. Well, it's a funny story. I can go a little bit back in time. I am the person who hated social media. I didn't have Facebook. My Instagram account was very small, just for my friends to, I was sharing pictures when I was traveling. And I really hated social media. I'm like an introvert and wanted to be, didn't want to expose myself. And the funniest thing is that my expertise is marketing, online marketing, and I'm pretty good at what I do. But when when I shared this with someone, people don't even believe me because I don't have a brand and I haven't shared any value. So people have never seen me doing it. So I said, okay, it's time for me to step up and really change that. So I went all in on doing things that I thought I hated. So I went on Instagram, I went on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and all of these social media platforms without knowing anything about them. I just started producing content. And obviously, over the last 2 years, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of things that you should not do and other things that you should definitely start doing as quickly as possible. What I've realized is people need leaders. People need know-how. They need information, and they're searching for their belonging, their tribe. And you as a person, as a brand, especially nowadays with social media, you have a unique opportunity to grow your brand, share your story, share value with your audience. And this is what is going to position you as a leader in your industry, in your niche, in your market.
Let's go back to a couple of points there. You said you've learned a lot about what you should and what you shouldn't do. Yeah, give me a couple of examples of each.
I will start with the things that you shouldn't do. And you should not sell anything. Like, don't think like I'm creating this social media account because I want to sell my products. I want to sell my programs, my events, whatever it is. Instead, what you should be doing is come from a place of service. I want to serve more people. I want to provide value to more people. I want to teach. I want to help. And then money and selling is just byproduct of that. And the other thing is, don't make it about yourself. Like, instead of talking what you've been doing, how you've done this, of course you can share about your story and everything, being vulnerable, that's a great thing, but make it more about what's in it for them, what's in it for your audience, how can you teach them. I think for me, these are the two main takeaways that can really transform your brand on social media. Stop selling, start serving, and really make it about your audience. And maybe number 3, which is actually very, very important, is to not aim for followers and fall for the vanity metrics. What I mean by vanity metrics is likes, followers, shares, saves, all of these things that we secretly chase, but they're not important because they're only giving us a small portion of the success that we're seeking. What we want to achieve is find a real true fans. And as Kevin Kelly says, a true fan is someone who will buy everything and anything from you. And a true fan will also travel over 200 miles just to see you speak at an event or a concert. They will subscribe for your email list. They will buy your book, ebook, audiobook of the same book, right? They will buy your t-shirts, whatever you release, because they're true fans. So stop chasing followers and focus on creating real, true fans.
Creating that tribe, that's right. And in the events industry, the business that I'm in, what would be an example of how I could do that, provide true value to people out there, people wanting to get into events, or people, I don't know, who want to start their own business?
Yeah, so the very first thing, you need to be absolutely clear on your niche and who are the people that you want to serve. And I think a common mistake that a lot of people do, and I've done myself as well, is starting too broad and trying to attract a large audience instead of trying to speak to a very narrow niche and expand from there. And if you try and talk to everybody, you risk being heard by no one. And that's the reality. What you should do instead is really identify your niche, be extremely specific, identify one problem that your niche is facing and start talking about that problem, start providing value, start helping them resolve that problem. And then from there, as you find your first 1,000 true fans, they will then recruit your casual listeners and subscribers. So your first goal is to be very niche orientated and focus on providing value and identifying your 1,000 fans. And after that, you can start expanding your topics and attract a larger audience.
So in your example, what is the niche that you've created?
Before or now?
Both. You can go through both if you want.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I've done wrong. So I wanted to help everyone because I've been fortunate to create a lifestyle where I can travel and really have freedom to do the things that I love. So I wanted to be able to help as many people as I can. So I said I will just help people around the world to create more freedom and to build online businesses. So this is how I started. And the thing I've done not so good is I started attracting people with different backgrounds, and most of them were they were just chasing money and they wanted to achieve success overnight, and that's just not possible. And I was just attracting the wrong people. So I kind of wasted a lot of time because I wasn't sure how to tweak my niche and offer and everything else. But right now, what I've done is I've realized I've been able to help coaches who have expertise and knowledge, and they simply want to take that expertise online so that they can impact more people around the world and create more freedom for themselves. And now this is my niche. I'm focusing on coaches that are experts at what they do, and probably they're serving in person, one-on-one, offline, but they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the know-how, and now they want to start doing business online so that they can touch more lives around the world and have more freedom for themselves to do the things they love.
So are we here looking at your Instagram account and how it's changed in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the last couple of weeks when I noticed that you changed up your Instagram account?
Yes, and I'll explain why exactly. So one of the reasons, and probably the main reason, is because I want to lead by example. So I've been getting a lot of clients from all around the world, and one of the main blockers for people to get started on social media and online is because they think they must have a huge following or a huge email list so that they can start their business, which is completely untrue. And I know people that have thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram or social media, and they're completely broke. They have no business behind it because they don't have the systems. So what I wanted to do is to really start from zero and take this other approach that I've been telling you about, really focusing on value and giving everything for free And instead of chasing followers, I started attracting a very specific niche and started attracting very targeted people, so to say. So I'm starting to build a community of true fans that are genuinely interested in the value I can provide.
And they would be coaches?
Yes, in the beginning, they're coaches and entrepreneurs that are, let's say, stuck offline and they want to transition their business online. And I do have a much bigger vision and mission in my head that I want to accomplish, but this is going to come next. As soon as I recruit my 1,000 true fans, I will then start expanding my topics and my audience.
That sounds great. I think one of the things you said earlier about this being an opportunity, one of the ways that I've been looking at this time is that a lot of the bigger businesses, they're going to have big costs at the moment. They're going to have big overheads, and eventually without revenue or with a significantly reduced revenue, there might be a time when some of those businesses actually die, no matter what the governments are telling you about how much money they're going to pump into the economy. I don't see that the government can help everybody. So again, if small businesses sit tight, they look at the costs, they look at, like you said, creating content and keeping in touch with people, this is an opportunity to then maybe take the place of some of the larger businesses and, take some of that business from them. What are your thoughts?
I believe the economy is shifting and a lot of things are going to change. We might have new players after this recession, because the recession is going to happen. I mean, it started happening already. We don't know how bad it will be. My guess is that it will be worse than 2008. We don't know that, but I think the smart people, they don't panic. They start thinking about the future and how they can adapt, how they can use this as an opportunity to create something different and really get way ahead in the game after all this thing is over. So I definitely believe players are going to change, and small businesses are in this very tough situation right now, but we are tough as human beings. We've survived wars, we've survived terrorist attacks, other crises. So I think society just got used to being okay and we became weak. But in fact, we're very strong as human beings and we're going to survive this. And I think it's happening for a reason, to give us a lesson. And as soon as we overcome this, I think the whole economy is going to go into a better place, and the whole world is going to become a better place. It's already happening.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, humans are resilient. We've always adapted, and if you look at the lines of the economy over time, it always goes up. There's always dips, but it always goes up in the end. So I think now is just a time, like you said, don't panic. Think about what you're good at and focus on building. I think that's really important. But Svetlin, I noticed that a few weeks ago that you did an event, and this podcast, as I said, is called Event Stars, and it will be about events. You're not an event organizer per se, but why don't you talk through the experiences of that event and what it was and sort of some of the challenges that you had?
Yeah, absolutely. The funniest thing is that we were initially thinking to do the event in March, and it wouldn't be possible with what happened. So I'm grateful we've done it in February. It was amazing. So as I said, I have a bigger vision in my head. I want to create entrepreneurs that are on top of their game. Like, for real, they've not only mastered their finances and business, but they are striving to become the best versions of themselves by improving every area of their lives without neglecting any of it. And I'm talking about finances, obviously, but also health and physique, mindset, relationships. I think everything comes full circle and it comes as a package. And if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to think about all these aspects of being an entrepreneur. So that's why we've done the event. it was very business orientated. We've shared a lot of strategies. We've given a lot of tools and tactics to entrepreneurs and coaches to grow their business online. But at the same time, we've done a lot of other activities, workouts, meditations. We had amazing parties together, and we really connected. We became like a small family. Everyone is so inspired. People achieve great results, and they're really, really looking forward to grow as entrepreneurs. So it was amazing. We've done it in Tulum, Mexico. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a beautiful environment. Part of the reason why we've done it there is because Tulum is just all about freedom. And this is the lifestyle that I preach, and this is the lifestyle that people are trying to achieve. So I thought Tulum would be the perfect location. The venue was in the middle of the jungle. It was very unorthodox event. Everything was an open space. We had healthy, amazing food, beautiful and friendly people. It was just amazing. It's very different than what you might think a business event looks like.
And what were some of the challenges that you had in making the event happen?
For me, it's because we've got people from all around the world. Obviously, the very first thing was cost. People had to be able to afford it so that they can pay for the flights and accommodation. But I think the whole team has done a great job in providing accommodation options and making this thing being affordable for everyone. So obviously cost was the first challenge that we faced. And apart from that, like normal stuff, like finding the perfect venue and then contacting all of the people, the whole organizational part. That's not what I'm really good at, but I'm fortunate enough to have such a great team, and they've done such an amazing job. So yeah, these were the main obstacles. It was the very first event that I've ever organized, but I got so inspired that from now on, as soon as this whole madness is over, we're going to start organizing more and more masterminds like this.
Yeah, man. And will it be mainly focused on coaches coming to visit you and learn about how they can expand their businesses?
Yeah, so it's going to be entrepreneurs in general, people who want to master, as I said, all areas of their lives, their business, their mindset. They want the latest tools and tactics to grow their business online. So we're starting with coaches, but then the mastermind event will be like the next thing. So as soon as you're at the level where you can join the mastermind, this means you have already mastered your financial aspect. You're ready to dive into the next step to grow your business even more and to grow as an entrepreneur. So it will be for coaches, consultants, but also entrepreneurs in general.
Sounds great. So why don't we go back to what why don't we go back to what I mentioned at the start, which is a little bit about your lifestyle. And I called you a digital nomad, which you told me I was maybe a little bit off with that point. So just describe to people, like, you know, your day-to-day kind of routine and how you got there, for example, because it didn't just happen overnight. I mean, you're from Bulgaria and now you're in the Caribbean, and, you know, that's the way you are windsurfing most of the year.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a long story, and it was a long time ago since I started living this lifestyle. But
look, man, we're all in isolation. We have time.
Well, it all started when I was a kid, a teenager. I had a dream. It was to be able to windsurf just anywhere in the world, wherever I wanted. And windsurfing is my passion. It's an expensive hobby to have, and you cannot do it everywhere. Obviously, you need water and you need wind, and there are just a few places around the world where the conditions are perfect. So my dream was just to be able to do that anytime I wanted. And I don't know how much you know about Bulgaria, but unfortunately, it's still the poorest country in Europe. So it's very hard for people to afford to travel and to go to places like that. So imagine me as a kid, I never thought it would be possible to do it. So ever since I was 16 years old, I started looking for ways to make money online and to create more freedom in my life so that I can achieve my dream of windsurfing. And it wasn't easy. I've tried so many things. I had my first business when I was 16 years old. I started with nutritional supplements because this has been a passion of mine. I started selling nutritional supplements in Bulgaria. I built a website. I've learned a lot about paid advertising, Google Ads, and it actually became very successful. We kind of almost became the biggest online store for supplements. And this was happening when I was 16 years old. And I started selling different supplements. I made all of these contacts all over Europe. And the funniest thing is I was pretending to be older than 16, obviously, to be able to do this. It worked for about a year and a half, and then I bankrupt. But I've learned a great lesson. And the reason is I just got suspended on Google Ads. It's a long story. It's a long story. I ended up having almost no money after all, but I ended up having so much experience at this age when most of my friends were doing totally different things. I already have built my first business, which kind of became successful, although for a very short period of time. And already then I knew it was possible to create this lifestyle. I just needed to find something that is more sustainable and scalable. So this is when I started looking into other online marketing options. I already was an expert at paid ads, so I had the advantage. So I got into affiliate marketing and lead generation. I started with some insurance products. Before that, I've tried other products. I failed. I don't have to go and tell you about every single product, but
but let's just explain what affiliate marketing is for people who don't understand it. You can probably describe it better than me.
Well, basically, what affiliate marketing is selling someone else's products or services in exchange for a commission. So let's say, in your case, I could be an affiliate of your company. And let's say you're going to give me 50% commission every time I sell an event of yours or whatever. And then I have my own system of doing it. I build my website, my marketing campaign and everything. And every time I make a sale, you would pay me 50%, let's say, depending what we agree on. And it's a win-win situation because it allows you to grow as a business and it allows me to grow as a business as well. So I thought it is a great opportunity because I didn't have to build a product or a service. I created a business around insurance products. So basically, I started helping other brokers, insurance brokers, to generate more customers for their businesses. And because I was already good at marketing, it was easy for me to do it. So ever since then, I've created and I automated a lead generation business, which is working till today. I've built great relationships with my partners. I have a small team working on it. And the best part is it allowed me to create the lifestyle that I wanted. So because you can do it remotely, you can just, you need your laptop and internet connection, and that's all you need. So it gave me the freedom to start traveling and windsurfing everywhere in the world. And this is how I ended up here on Bonaire. This is like the windsurfing paradise. It was a dream to be able to come here. And now I spend like 6 months of the year here. I love it. I have so many friends and I'm windsurfing every day. That's my meditation. I still put in a lot of work because I have other businesses nowadays. I'm coaching people. I'm doing so many other things. And I'm really passionate about being an entrepreneur and creating different businesses. So I won't lie. I'm doing a lot of work during the day. But at the end of the day, I know I have the opportunity to go on the ocean and windsurf for an hour or 2 or 3. And this is my meditation. And this is what makes me really, really happy.
Sounds like enough time to do that to me. 2-3 hours a day, brilliant. And I think what people have to also realize, like you said, it's a lot of work. It's not just all right, you're going on holiday for 6 months a year, you're actually working at the same time, but you've built the lifestyle that you want, so you can have that, I guess, endless summer to be able to do it.
And I can just go back to the difference of being an online entrepreneur and digital nomad, because you said you see me as a digital nomad, and I explained that being a digital nomad gives you just parts of the freedom that you can achieve as an online entrepreneur. And what digital nomad means is creating a location independent income. And there are many ways you can do it. Even if you have let's say a standard 9-to-5 job, you don't even have to quit your job. You can negotiate better terms with your boss, and then you can start working remotely and start traveling, and then boom, you're a digital nomad. But you can also be a freelancer. There's so many things you can do. But the difference with being an online entrepreneur is freedom on its finest level, really. That's what I mean. Like having the chance and the opportunity to do whatever you want. You can work 12 hours a day. That's your choice. If you enjoy doing it, if you enjoy building companies, you can do it. But you can also decide not to do anything and just do the things that you love. So it's about the freedom. And that's what I was chasing when I was a kid. And that's what I keep chasing right now.
So what does freedom look like to you?
When you're on your own terms.
So what does freedom look like to you?
I just said it, being able to live life on my own terms, being able to windsurf whenever I want, and to do the things that I love whenever I want. I don't necessarily do it every day, but I know I have the opportunity to do it if I wanted to.
I know you're a very big believer in routine and having habits that go with that. Why don't you give us an example of what your daily routine looks like, even from like what you eat, the supplements you might take, to the workouts, to whatever else it is?
Oh, I take tons of supplements, so don't get me started on that. But I wake up, I try to wake up naturally. It usually is between 7 and 7:30, and then I would have either small breakfast, or I would work out on empty stomach. And I like doing some sort of activity in the morning. It could be, I usually do my workouts in the morning. Sometimes I would do just cardio, and then I might have a second workout later in the afternoon. So I would always dedicate the first 2 hours of the day for myself. So I would do a workout, I would have a breakfast, take a shower, and after then I feel really ready and focused to conquer the day, to start working on my projects. And then I would go all in on business. I spend a couple of hours working, depending on what I have to do. And then at the end of the day, around sunset, it's my favorite time to go windsurfing here while I'm on Bonaire, because whenever I travel, I'm trying to adjust my routine. But right here on Bonaire, around 5 or 4:30, I would go windsurfing until 7 o'clock. And then I would have dinner with my girlfriend. We're going to spend some time together and really relax, trying not to use phone or electronics. We might watch some movies, but we always use blue light protection glasses. And then going to bed around like 10:30, 11.
So what does a blue light glasses do?
So they cut they cut the blue light from your devices, from your laptop, your phone screen, and this is the harmful light that we get from all of these devices nowadays, and it's harming our sleep and harming a lot of our circadian rhythm and our health in general. So I find the glasses to be very helpful, and I do use them every day after 8:30 in the evening.
So while I'm at home, I have to get some of those from Amazon?
Yeah, you can. I'll recommend you definitely some brands.
Yeah, send me a link after this.
I'm a lot into biohacking. So I use a lot of gadgets. The other thing that I have is this little tool that I have on my finger. It's the Oura Ring.
Okay.
It's pretty much the best tool to measure your sleep. I went from a place where I thought sleeping is how you end the day. It's the last stage of your day, to a place right now where I believe that sleep is the first thing that you do in the new day. This is how you start the day,
Right.
with sleep. So it's very important for me to have a good sleep and then wake up feeling refreshed and energized. And I'm not a good sleeper, so it took me a while to really understand what I need to do to improve my sleep. But it's getting better, and I can definitely feel the difference every time when I sleep better. I just have so much more energy, focus, and I'm just more productive. And then I can really do more work in less time and enjoy the rest of the time doing the things that I want.
So, first of all, what did you call it on your finger?
It's a ring. It's called Oura Ring.
Or a ring. Okay. So what does that do and how does it measure your sleep?
Uh, it has all of these little sensors here.
Oh, okay.
And yes, they said it's the best tool to measure your sleep. It's the one that's most accurate on your finger. Instead of using all of these bracelets, they are useful as well, but this is what's going to give you the most accurate data.
So it tells you like how, and does it link to your phone or something like that?
Yes, you have an app, and you can check your stats on the next day. You can see your REM sleep, your deep sleep, your light sleep, and then you can identify patterns and try different things to improve your sleep.
And what kind of things have you implemented that have helped improve your sleep?
Blue light blocking glasses, definitely. Food. So I don't eat a lot of carbs anymore. I used to eat a lot of carbs. I was trying to gain weight in the past. I've done a lot of different nutritional plans. Right now, what I do is I only eat carbs around my workouts and might have some carbs in the evenings. So when I eat carbs in the evening, they help me sleep better as well. But also, I started taking some supplements that are helping me dramatically. Magnesium is one of them that I believe every single one of you guys have to take. What you should be aware of is magnesium comes in different forms, and a lot of these forms are not effective. So be aware of what forms you're taking. My ultimate favorite is L-threonate or chelate magnesium, but there are a lot of other forms. So be mindful about that. There are other supplements that you can experiment with. GABA is one of them that helps a lot. What else? Singh, I think, with magnesium, L-glutamine sometimes. So these are the main ones, but there are tons of other supplements that you can take to improve your sleep.
No, I'll definitely have to look into that. And if what I'll do, I'll try and attach some notes to this podcast and YouTube show, so that you can write some of this stuff down there if people are looking to maybe replicate you and your lifestyle. So what would you say the sort of near-term and long-term goals are for you at the moment?
Right now, in this period of time, I'm really focusing on my businesses, building my audience of true fans. I'm working on my new website and personal brand. As I said, everything I said earlier, I truly believe, and these are the things that I'm doing in this period of time. Short term, it's that. Long term is to help every single entrepreneur in the world become their best version of themselves. That's my biggest goal. I believe we're going to have more and more entrepreneurs coming from every single day, and I want to be able to help every single one of them. So it's a big goal, I know, but you got to start somewhere, and that's my mission.
Definitely. And what advice would you give to people now that are worried, they're struggling, they don't know what's going to happen, that maybe they've got a 9 to 5 or just started a business? what sort of words of wisdom would you leave them with?
I would definitely say, first of all, be safe, follow the guidelines, stay at home whenever it's needed. But I think use the time to reconnect with yourself, with your families, with your loved ones. It's a rare opportunity that we have nowadays. Really use the time to connect and be present. And then instead of wasting your time on worrying and panicking about the future, use the time to invest in yourself, in your vision, in your brand, and be mindful about it. It's a great opportunity. So there are two ways of seeing the situation. We can either be victims of it, or we can just take it as an opportunity and learn something out of it.
That's yeah, definitely something that I'll be trying to do in the next couple of months. Like I said, for us it's difficult for our business, but I'll be trying to use this opportunity as much as I can to refocus and connect with where I want to go to. And it's been great talking to you. Always feel inspired being around you. Can't wait for us to get together again. And looking at the background, it's making me want to be there in the Caribbean, in isolation there rather than where I am now. But thanks so much for today. I'm sure a lot of people will take some inspiration from what you said. A lot of food for thought and supplements for thought from this. And I guess the last thing is, where can people find out a little bit more about you?
Best place to connect is on Instagram. It's Svetlin Todd.
How do you spell that? Do you want to spell it out?
Svetlin Todd, everything written and as one word. You can write it down.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Yes, yeah, that's the best place where you can find me. I'm trying to respond to everyone. So yeah, I'd love to connect.
Svetlin, thanks again, and we'll catch up very soon.
Thank you, Gurmej. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Cheers, bro. Thank you for listening and watching. If you've got any suggestions or any feedback, then feel free to get me on Twitter at GurmejSP or Insta at events_Gurmej, spelled Gurmej. Thank you for listening. Catch you soon.